Hey, this is Mr. Jarvis with homework help for December 12th, 2023. We're winding down 2023, and we're looking at visual representations here. And like, how do I count these? And if we start off thinking about, well, think of this as like a little less than. Anyway, I thought of it as like these triangles here. Like if I cut out each of these empty pieces and put them together, it would make the same square. So I think it's half, 0.50 or 0.5. An equivalent fraction would be 1/2. So, or 0.5. All right, for this one, um, boy, I don't, people counted them up. And we got 40 hundredths or 4/10. So 0.4, and ask you to write it as a fraction. So this is 4/10. It's the same as 40 hundredths. So I could just write 4/10. And I'm going to want to simplify that. I can divide the 4 and the 10 by 2. I'll do that. And that equals 2/5. Okay, so let's move on. So we have 0.0 and 5/10 or 1/2 for number 1. And for number 2, we have 4/10 or 2/5 for the fraction and 4/10 or 40 hundredths for the decimal. More proper to say 4/10 in my opinion. Now, I was really surprised that we didn't do well at this. We had a little checkup today, comparing fractions. And everyone seemed to think when we do these, and I just lay it out like this, is really easy, but we had some word problems, like who had more water in their liter bottle. And when put in a word problem, we just really couldn't do it. So we look at the ones place, they're both 6s, and I keep going to the smaller place value, to compare. 0/10, 0/10. This is 0/100. There's nothing there that's the same as 0. So this is 6 and 0/10 is equal to 6 and no hundredths. We have 5 ones. I look at the other one. They have 5 ones. They have 5/10. They have 5/10. 1/100th, 4 100ths. This one's larger and larger number. 1/10, 1/10. Okay. 3 ones, 3 ones, 0/10, 4/10. This one's larger. Okay, so that one you could just go through. You have like 3 more of those. And, if I put in a word problem, really just, I think if you're more careful, you should do fine. So now we're rounding to the nearest 1 here. So this is going to be 0. Nearest 10th. We look at the 10th place and we look 1 to the right. And if it's 4 or less, no change is best. 5 or more increase the score, so it stays as 0. Okay, now we're looking to round in the nearest 100th. So I look at the 100th, the rounding place. Now I look 1 to the right. 5 or more, increase the score. 4 or less, no change is best. So 8 is 5 or more, so I need to go 0.0 and not 4 hundredths, add 1 to the 4, make it 5 hundredths. Round in the nearest 1, we have 4 here. Here's the rounding place. I look 1 to the right. It's a 9, so that's going to make it's 5 or more. I increase the score. It's 15. Now this is for the 10th, it's a little different. So for the 10th, I'm going to have, here's the 10th, it's a 9. I look 1 to the right, and 5 or more. So I increase the 9 by 1, and that's going to give me 10 and make this a 0. And a 1 over here. And I have to add the 1 to the 4, 1 and 4. And so that's going to round to 15, even though I'm rounding to the nearest tenths. That one's kind of confusing. So rounding to the nearest hundredths now, I like to underline my rounding place. 6 is in the rounding place. Then I look 1 to the right, and it's a 4 or less. No change is best. So it's 14. And 96 hundredths. All right, let's keep moving on here. All right, so we have 3/4. We need to write it as a decimal. So 3/4. I need to make it something over either a multiple of 10. But so 10's not going to work. No even number times 4 is going to give me 10, but I can do 100. And I know that what times 4 is 100, and that would be 25. So multiply 4 by 25 is 100. 3 times 25 is 75. So 75 hundredths is 0.75 or 75 hundredths. 0 and 75 hundredths. Okay, let's take a look at, we have 20 tenths, or you could simplify and think of this as 2 over 10. I can simplify this, divide it by 2. They're both divisible by 2. 2 halves, or 2 over 2 is equal to 1. I'm not changing the value. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this is going to be 1/5. Okay. Now I have 3 hundredths. So I write that as 0. And the 3 has to be in the hundredths place. So I need to put a place marker of 0 in the 10th. 3 hundredths. This is the hundredths place. All right. Let's move on a little further. Number 5. Ooh, we got the challenge. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, Riley collected rain for several weeks in his rain gauge. 1.48 inches, 1 and 4,800 inches the first week, half that much in the second week, and 1 each in the third week. How much more rain will I need to collect 5 inches? So I need to add these up, the first week, second week, and third week, and then subtract that by 5 to see how much more he needs. So we have 1 and 48 hundredths. Add these up. Half of that, well, half of 14 is 7. Half of 8 is 4, 74 hundredths. And then 1 inch here. And that's going to give me 3 and 22 hundredths. Okay, so how much more rain do I need to before he collects 5 inches? So to find that, I'm going to go 5.00 minus 3, 22 hundredths. Okay, so I got to do some borrowing here. I need to borrow from the ones place and make this a 10, but I'm really going to make it a 9 because I'm going to borrow again here. I double borrowed across. So I made this 4, broke this 1 into 10s here. I made this 9, I made this 10, and then I borrowed again to 1. So 10 here. So we have 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 2 is 7. The basic subtraction. 4 minus 3 is 1. So he needs 1 and 78 inches more rain. Okay, that's the challenge problem, kind of multi-step. We've been doing it with our problems of the week. Hope that helps you out. Hey, countdown to winter break. Hope you're all having a great one.